I'm Soumya Padya and welcome back to second day of our live series. And today we have someone who's a marketing and branding expert with experience of 20 years working in London. She has worked with some of the finest brands of this world like Cadbury, Nestle, Nescafe, Coca Cola, and biggest brands like that. She is currently working as an Instagram influencer, sharing her knowledge with around 116k people out there. And not just this, but she has also guided various business owners to represent their skills in the best possible way on Instagram. She also provides courses on topics like Instagram makeover, video blogs, and topics like that. And now you'll be surprised to know that she's just going to complete 10,000 students enrolled in her course. And that is just incredible. So you got me right. I'm talking about Kat Coroy. And now I just can't wait for the session and would like her to take up.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's so lovely to be here with you all. I'm sure that you're all aware that Instagram is the hottest social media thing out there at the moment. It is the most visual platform. And did you know that you only have 3 seconds to capture somebody's attention online and on Instagram? 3 seconds is all the time you have because people are so busy, they're just zooming about. And if you don't capture their attention in 3 seconds, they are just going to move on to the next one. This is what brands have to do these days, have to capture that attention so quickly. So this is why do I love Instagram? Because it's all about relationships. It's about authentic marketing. We're going to get into that more in a minute. Now, Instagram is so powerful, right? Because in this tiny little area, which is your Instagram account, it's almost like a website because you've got all your highlights at the top and you can show people things that you sell. It's almost like the website, the blog, a sales funnel, all in one. So without having to scroll and click like on other social media platforms, you have to go to all different places and scroll around and click around to see so much stuff. Here is in an instant. When somebody comes to a brand's profile on Instagram, they instantly get a feel for what they're all about. And that is why it is so powerful. I love it. And it's definitely, I believe, time for a new way of marketing out there on Instagram. And this is one reason why I love this platform, because it's got a really good vibe to it. Have you noticed, compared to like Facebook and other places, Instagram, it's all about the love and connection and making relationships and actually real, genuine connections with real people, which I really love. The old way of marketing, which is all about manipulation and lies. When I first started my business and I was doing, listening to the gurus out there talking about marketing, and they tell you when you're doing marketing that you have to kind of sprinkle bits of lies and deception into all your marketing, because that's the only way you're going to get people to be able to buy your stuff. Well, I started doing this when I started my business, and it just didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel good. I felt, I just wanted to feel good about what I'm doing. And so what I decided was I took it all out, every single thing that was just not quite accurate, and which is what we're taught to do. And I developed something else called soul-to-soul marketing, which is where you literally have everything that you're doing in all of your marketing. And I believe this is the way forward now, is based on truth, authenticity, integrity, and it's coming from your soul, and it's soul-to-soul marketing. And I want to talk through this today and these 4 areas in soul-to-soul marketing. Okay, so it's really, and it works so well as well. I mean, my business has grown. I only started this business that I'm doing now about 2.5 years ago, and I've got 10,331 students in my course in just over 2 years. So it totally works, and it makes you feel good as well, and it makes everyone else feel good. Anyway, the first part of soul-to-soul marketing is clarity. Okay, you've got to get really clear about a few things in your business if you're going to get your brand to work. So the first thing you have to get clear about is what I call brand soul essence. And this is the kind of the feeling and the energy that everybody who comes into contact with your brand will see. Okay, it's something that it's not really words, it's just the whole entire sum of the colors you're using, the fonts, the things that you're saying, and the way you talk to people. But more than that, it's the deeper message behind what your brand is doing. And as you mentioned earlier, I've worked with some of the biggest brands in London. This is how I started out. In a big company, which some of you guys might do the same thing when you finished your degree. You might go and work in a big company, and then eventually you might find a different path. That's what I did. I started out working for lots of big design agencies in London. And then eventually I kind of found my own path and found my way to being an entrepreneur. And the reason I love this soul-to-soul marketing is that somebody who's, say for example, I was a candle seller. Okay, this is the difference between having a brand and having a business. And a business is just somebody selling candles. And a brand has soul-to-soul marketing, has a brand soul essence in it, and does soul-to-soul marketing. So say this was how I thought. I was a candle company, and this is how I thought about my business, about how I'm selling. Okay, I'm just a candle company that's creating my content on Instagram all about candles. That's all I'm doing. And it makes sense, doesn't it? It's kind of logical. I'm just focusing on my candles and telling them about the candles, and it's just all about candles. But how can I take this business up to another level so that it can become a brand with brand soul essence and have that power in it that I was just talking about? Well, if it could be the same candle company, but instead of just talking about candles, it could have a deeper message. And this is just one example that it could be a candle company creating content around self-love, non-toxic ingredients, and all about shining light into dark days that people are having. So you see, it's got a deeper message and a deeper meaning about what it's doing. And a lot of my students, they come to me and they have businesses and they're not sure what their brand soul essences are, and they think, oh, maybe I don't have one. But everybody has a brand soul essence. Even you sitting there, you may not have a business or a brand right now, maybe you will in the future, but you have a brand soul essence as well. And it's your deeper reason, why are you doing what you're doing? And that's what I say to them. If they can't figure out what it is, they have to ask themselves a few questions like, why am I doing this? Why am I passionate about it? What am I doing? And if you can get to that real deep message and that deeper meaning behind what you're doing, even if you're not a business, even if you're going to work for a bigger company, if you're clear about that, you're going to have a lot more power in what you're doing, a lot more power in people around you that are working with you are going to feel that. They're going to feel your energy and your passion in what you're doing, and it's going to be so much more powerful. Let me show you the difference on Instagram for two people that have brand soul essence and that don't. These are two artists' accounts on Instagram. So this person does not have brand soul essence in their account. And you can see this is a typical Instagram account where this is what you mostly see out there, where they just randomly sort of slap up a load of pictures and a load of, a few quotes, some family pictures. It's all a bit of a jumble. And you can't tell instantly what somebody does. You just can't tell what they do, can you? And this is what most things look like. And in those 3 seconds, remember, that's all the time that you've got as a brand. If people can't tell what you do, they're just going to move on. Now, the same person could look like this, and this is an account with brand soul essence. They've taken time to get clear about what their deep message is behind it. They're expressing that deep message in colors, in fonts, there's a flow to it, there's a design to it. And design is so important as well for branding, because people want to see things that look good, because it draws you in. It's like people are like magpies. Humans are like magpies. They love pretty, lovely things that look nice. So if we see things that look good and it's got that energy, that brand soul essence in it as well, that's when it starts to work online. Because even if it's online, even if it's just an image online, it all has energy to it. Everything has energy to it. Every word you write, every caption you write, everything you post has an energy in it. And it's that brand soul essence energy that's going to make it really, really powerful. Here's one more example of that. These are two children's authors to show you the difference. This is the first one here that does not have brand soul essence in it, okay? And this business, it's just looking very jumbled, isn't it? And very busy. And they're a children's author, and you can see that it's about books. You can see books, but it looks very jumbled and very busy. It doesn't have brand soul essence in it. And then this one, it does. It's oozing brand soul essence. You can see the vibe of it. It looks really fun. It's got the right colors, hasn't it, for kids, because she's a children's author. And she's presenting it well with good design as well. And it's really, really, the brand soul essence is really coming out, and you can really, really feel it. And the thing about brand soul essence as well, it's not just doing any old business. It's like, for example, for me, before I started doing this business, I was doing a previous one where I had stopped working in London, and then I went freelance for a while. And then I actually started doing a product-based business where I was selling tote bags that I had put designs onto and illustrations that I did. And I went to China to get them manufactured, and I bought a load of stock, and I had them all there ready to sell. But the problem is, it wasn't what my soul was here to do. It was a good business, and I had got it all looking good, but it wasn't what my soul was here to do. So what is your soul really here to do? You know, that is what you want to figure out eventually. And it's a process, isn't it? Like, I'm 50 this year, and I'm just 3 years ago, this business took off and I figured out what I wanted to do. I'm not saying it's going to take you that long to find out what you want to do, but you know, you might finish your degrees, you might go off, you might work for a big company like I did in London, and that's all good because you're getting experience. You know, you're getting to learn a lot of stuff that you're going to need, and then eventually you're going to find your way and you're going to get clear about what it is that you really came here to do. Because if you can find that thing that you really came here to do, that your soul came here to do, and you can make money at it, and you can be really happy and fulfilling your soul's deep desire that you feel so fulfilled every day, then that's what it's all about, isn't it? And you get there by listening to those intuitions. Like, when I was doing my previous business and I kept thinking to myself, yeah, maybe I should work with entrepreneurs and teach them about branding and stuff. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm doing these bags. I'm not doing that. And I didn't listen to it. I ignored it for 3 years, and I kept on doing that other thing, and it just was not working at all. And eventually I listened to it. So what are those little intuitions that you're having? Are you having sort of little thoughts that keep coming up thinking, oh, maybe I should go in this direction, or maybe I should go in that direction? And it might not be what you necessarily thought that you were going to do. So just keep doing that and you will be guided into the right place for sure. So another good thing is for brands the brands that take off and do really well it's when that you can find that sweet spot here, that little magic essence, the brand soul essence that is in the middle of doing what you're really good at, what people really need, and what they're willing to pay for. And so if you're ever going to start your own business one day, which some of you may end up being entrepreneurs, then this is what you need to do. You need to find that sweet spot, because it's all very well having something that you're really good at and that it's like me with my bags, isn't it? I was really good at it. They looked great, but they didn't really want them. You know, people didn't really want to pay for them because they can go to the shop and get a bag for like £1 or whatever. So, you know, they didn't want to pay. So it has to be in the middle of all those things. When you find that thing and you get really clear about that, that is when your brand will just really, really take off. And also talking about clarity in soul to soul marketing, you need to be clear about your confidence and what your goals are when you're being a brand. So even when you're going out into the workplace and you're working for a big company, you still are your own personal brand, aren't you? Walking around every day, we are all our own personal brands. We have to be clear about what our goals are. If you're clear about your goals, you are really focused, like you're like a laser focus, and you know where you're going and you can take the right actions to get to that place. Even when I had my other business and I was a single mum, I had no money. Had no money hardly to buy food or anything, but I had a very, very, very clear vision of where I was trying to get to. I always had one really, really strong, clear vision in my mind. And I kept thinking about it every day. And I almost imagined myself that I was already there. You know, even when I wasn't there, I imagined I was. I felt like I was. And then the universe arranged it all around me to guide me into that place where I got to the place where I became successful and got the business that I really wanted. So that's a really good trick. Anyway, so next we're talking about the next step. So it's being clear is the first part of soul to soul marketing, because if you're not clear, how can you expect as a brand anybody else to be clear about what you're doing? Even as a person in the workplace, if you're not clear about what your objectives and your goals are, nobody else is going to be clear about what you're doing and what you want. You know, so clarity is so, so important. The next thing is connect. Right, connect. Now, this is why I love Instagram, because Instagram's all about connection, or Instagram is all about giving lots of value. And this is the new way of marketing, soul to soul marketing. It's not take. It's not what can we take from people. You know, it's about giving. Like I give loads and loads of value, and this is what it's the best way to do it. And in the brands, even when people, come into my marketing funnels, I'm not just selling to them. I'm giving value. And that's what it's all about. And being truthful and authentic. People can tell. Even say if, for example, you have an offer, you've got a business and you have an offer, and you're saying, okay, this offer's only valid for 2 days, and then it's going to, what people always say in marketing, they say stuff like that. And it's a little thing, but it's a little lie, isn't it? It's like, it's not only available for 2 days, it's going to be available all year, but you're just saying that to try and get people to buy it. And that's just those little untruths that are just it's the old way of marketing. But if you can just be totally truthful, people can feel it. People can feel it in everything you do. You know, they really do feel that. And it's in your captions as well on Instagram. If you can write captions from your heart and write and be relatable and not preachy, that's really important on Instagram. So if people, you know, people struggle a lot sometimes. They write captions when they know a lot of stuff, and they write captions and it sounds a bit preachy because they're trying to get a lot of information across. But it has to be more kind of like, let's do this together, you know, we can, and I'm going to go on the journey with you, and you're explaining things to people in your captions rather than being preachy. So, and also when I write a caption, I try to put myself in my followers' shoes and think to myself, what do they need to hear from me? You know, it's not what I want to just tell them today about something. It's like, what do they need to hear from me? Thinking about other people more and really thinking about that, it really helps. And in your videos as well, you can do the same thing. If you become an entrepreneur and you're going to do videos and things like that, you've got to be authentic and truthful. And then that vibe will come across in marketing. It's going to come across all the time. The next one is cultivate. This is how marketing works on Instagram. Okay, so people come into your world on Instagram. If they like what they see, they'll become a follower of yours. And then you give them more value and they get to know you. They get to know, like, and trust you. And then eventually you need to cultivate the relationship a bit further. So what we do is, on Instagram, we'll have a funnel. I don't know if you know much about marketing funnels, but you'll have a link where somebody will say, you'll give them like a free webinar or a PDF or some kind of freebie. And then you'll get the email address from them. And then once you get the email address, you can give them more value and they get to know you, because people like to buy from people that they know, they like, and they trust. So that's kind of how it works with the cultivate part of it. You've got to cultivate that relationship enough until they feel like they know you enough that they really want to buy from you. Next, we have, where's my next bit? Choice. Now, this is something I'm so passionate about. This is the fourth part of soul-to-soul marketing. And this is where it's a bit different, because the old way, as I said, is all about manipulating people into a sale. And what I'm saying is that what we can do is we can just talk about our products and our things as entrepreneurs and brands so enthusiastically, and we're just really talking so enthusiastically about what we have and sharing it with passion and enthusiasm, and then we're saying, here it is, if you would like to be part of this, come and join me. We're not trying to, you know, bend them into doing it or twist their minds or make them feel bad. There's a lot of shame marketing out there, I don't know if you've noticed, where they make you feel bad. And they say, you don't have this and you lack this and everything, just to make you feel like you have to buy the product in order to feel better about yourself. And so the new way of marketing isn't doing that. It's like building them up and making them feel good about themselves and feeling like they really want to do that. So so it's talking about enthusiasm, giving them choice. And do you know what? My students, and because I've done my whole business like this, it's like I just run it with love. It's like I love all my students. I think how much I've just recently done a load of course updates, right? I've spent about 2 weeks doing course updates, and I'm not charging any more for that. So once they're in my world, I just try to give them so much value and so much love, and then they tell all their friends about it, you know, and it's good marketing, because it's just you're getting good reputation out there as well, and it just makes everything's so much fun. It's like I can go to bed at night sleeping really well because I'm doing soul-to-soul marketing. I'm treating people with respect and love, how I want to be treated. And then that you just get back all the love that you give out in tenfold. So I've got some slides here, actually, that I would like to show, if we can. I'm just going to see if I can do this. Hang on. There it is. Okay. This one. Yeah, there we go. Right. Okay. Can you see that? All right. I hope you can. All right. So now I just thought it'd be really fun to show you how we start to build a brand. Okay. So there's 2 key questions that you can ask yourself when you're building a brand at the beginning to get direction. Now, the first question is that the question one that I would ask any of my students or any big brand that I was working on to do, I would say, first of all, how do you want to be seen? Okay, think about that. How do you want to be seen? Do you want to be seen as a leader or as a teacher, as an influencer, as a hub of information, or like a go-to person for statement jewelry if you're a jewelry designer or something like that? And you've got to think about it from your tribe's point of view, from your followers' point of view as well. The second question is, what are the top 5 emotions that you want people to feel when they come to your Instagram account if you're designing one for a brand? So, you know, because when people come to your Instagram account, you want them to feel something. You know, you want them to actually have the right emotions. So think about you, if you as a personal brand right now, okay, what would be the top 5 emotions that you would want people to feel when they came to your Instagram account now, if you were going to make it? Okay, so let's just see. If I was doing it, I'll show you some words in a minute that you can choose, but this is one example. Say this is one of my students, Karen, okay? She's the breakfast cure, and she makes subscriptions, slow cooker subscriptions for breakfast cereals. Okay, so the kind of emotions I might choose for her brand might be something like joy, ease, because it's easy in the morning to make it, healthy, cozy, and good morning. Now, good morning isn't exactly an emotion, but it's, you know, it's all about morning, so it's kind of a good thing to say for Karen's brand. And then we want to visually represent all these emotions so people feel that when they come to her Instagram account. Okay, so here's some emotion words for you now. If you had to pick out, say just pick out a few now, can you see on the list if there's any that would represent you? And if you were having you're thinking of yourself as a personal brand and you're on Instagram, what would be the emotions that you would want to pick out or what you'd want people to feel when they come to your account here? See if you can pick out a couple. And it's so powerful, because then if you can start to put the right images and the right words onto your Instagram account, and people are going to feel something when they come there, then if you can get someone to feel something, you can get them to take action, and you can get them to actually do something. Press that follow button or buy your product or whatever it is that you want them to do. Okay, so there's those 2 things again. And a brand soul essence designed account is going to have a head start massively against all of the other competition that they would have. Okay, they're going to stand out way ahead of their competition. They are going to become the go-to person out there. They're going to have massive credibility in their industry, and they're going to look super professional. And of course, on Instagram, you've got to have hashtags, you've got to create engagement, you've got to have strategies, and you've got to have all that stuff. But the thing that you really need is you've got to have design, okay? Because of the visual medium that Instagram is, if it's not designed well, people are just going to move on. As I showed you before with those examples, they're going to move on to the next person, and you just won't get in there. So that really does help to becoming an Instagram rock star if you get it all looking fabulous. Now, I wanted to show you as well about emotion mapping. I thought this would be really interesting. So emotion mapping, as we just talked about, emotions are so important. Emotions make people take action, as we just said. And so if you think about the big brands, if you think about Nike, look at these images that they've used. They all have emotion in them, don't they? They have power and strength, and they make you feel a certain type of emotion for that brand. And like power, determination, victory, exhilaration, they're the kind of emotions we might feel. But this brand is totally different. This is Pedigree, a dog brand. And look, these images are totally different, aren't they? So these ones might make you feel love or happy or connected, things like that. Here's another one. Here's Starbucks. And again, it's totally different. It's more of a natural feel to the images. It's inclusive because it's got all the different hands, and it's just makes you feel like it's natural and social. It's got a different feeling to it, different emotions in it. Here's another one. Here's a really fun brand. So you can see how it makes such a difference, the kind of images that you use and the kind of emotions that you have inside the images you use as a brand say everything about you. And these brands are all expressing their brand soul essence with the images that they're using. Oreos has a fun brand soul essence, so they're just expressing it through the images that they're using. Emotions help you choose which images you're going to actually post in your Instagram account. but it has to be the right emotions. Obviously, you can't put the wrong ones in. You know, you've got to pick the right ones to wear on the right day, the right emotion. So if I did an example here to show you emotion mapping for Karen's brand here for the breakfast cure, and if I just focused on the word, I'm going to do the joy first here. Step 1, right? So first of all, I pick one of my emotions. Say I took joy here and I put it as my emotion word. And then I know I could think of some ideas, right? What kind of images can I use to express the word joy? So I could pick, in step 2, I could say I could have somebody riding a bike as an image for joy, or I could have a quote that expresses joy. I could have flowers, or I could have a morning run. But which one? For step 3, let's just pick one of them and have a go at it for now. Okay, so let's say we decided we wanted to use flowers in the Instagram account to express joy for this brand. Okay, now which images of flowers are we going to use? Because there's thousands and thousands of different images we could use. We've got to pick the image that has the right tone in it. So there's 3 images here of flowers. Now they all have different tones, and they're all images of flowers, aren't they? So they could all say joy. Now, which one do you think is expressing joy the most here and would be more suitable for Karen's brand that we just talked about before? I'm going to go with C. Because it looks light and joyful and airy, and it's also got, can you see the sun's coming up as well? So that's kind of the morning feel that she has in her brand. So I would put that into the step 3 of her emotion mapping. So if you're trying to create a brand, this is a really great way to do it. You can just decide step 1, which is your emotion word that you're trying to get across in your Instagram account. Step 2, which image am I going to use? Which kind of idea am I going to do? And then step 3, I'm going to pick the right one of those kinds of images to use for my emotion mapping. And then if I did it for cozy, this is what I would do. Okay, I'd pick out cozy, and I could do, for her, I could have a hot breakfast cereal, or I could have blankets, I could have a sunny morning, or I could have hands on a bowl. So if I picked out some blankets again, now here's 3 images now. The third one, it could be, because it is quite a cozy image of blankets, but actually the one that I would choose for Karen's brand is B, because it has, you know, it's on the bed, it looks very morning-y, doesn't it? Morning-y. So I think I would pick number 2, B. So I'd put that there in step 3 of the emotion map. So you can see over time, if you were building up emotions like this and images on Instagram, how powerful it would be, because you would eventually build up an Instagram account that has all the right emotion in it. And when people come there, they're going to feel the right thing. They're going to feel connected to the brand. And then they're going to want to come into that brand's world and be a part of it and find out more about what that brand's all about. Okay, so then if I built up a mood board of a few things, I could have those. And it makes people feel pulled to you when you have the right images and you use the right emotions. They feel pulled to you. They feel inspired to take action, because if you feel something, you're going to take some action. And it means that they're going to open up their hearts, minds and wallets to just buy whatever that brand has to sell, because they're going to feel connected to that brand. And that's what it's all about. So I just really wanted to get across today the fact of, you know, how Instagram is just such an amazing platform for brands and for that real authentic connection. That's what it's all about at the moment. It's treating people with love and authenticity and just giving value and really building people up. And then anybody can find their tribe and find, you know, build up a personal brand. I mean, look at me. I just wasn't doing anything. And then suddenly I've got all these followers and this amazing business and everything. And I just had a vision of what I wanted to do. And I just kept taking little steps towards it. And maybe you'll choose to do something like that one day, to be an entrepreneur and do that. Once you discover what it is your soul's here to do, you may choose to do that. So thank you.
Okay, awesome. So like all the things that you explained about soul to soul marketing, like they have cleared all the questions that I had in mind, and I know viewers must have got their answers too. Now we have a quick question. We'll be taking that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, can you say that last bit again?
Yeah, again, we have some questions. So we
Yeah, sure. I have the questions, no problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Love questions.
Okay. So when you were designing your course, were there any major challenges that you would like to address?
When I was designing my course, well, the first thing I did was I actually created a version of it at the beginning, which was it was kind of like a half an online course and it was half a one-to-one thing. So I was actually doing people's Instagram feeds for, helping them figure it out as well. And I had part of it that was online. So it meant that I understood really clearly what they wanted at the beginning. So I knew what to put into the course. So if you can do a half and half online and like actually have contact with the people that you're working with, when you're creating your course, that's really valuable. And then you can put it all into there. But I mean, major challenges for me, it wasn't too bad because I'm quite techie. I'm sure you guys are as well. It's like I can easily go on and figure out how to do things online and stuff. And that's all you need, as long as you can do that. And it's having a clear plan of what you want to do. And then if you've got a really great product, that's the mix of all those things, it's got to be, and online products are a really brilliant thing to do. I mean, it's the way forward, isn't it? Especially with the online, world climate as it is at the moment. I mean, with this whole COVID thing and everything that's happened, I've had more sales in the last 2 months than I have, I've had brilliant sales because people are at home, they're online. People want to get their businesses online at the moment, don't they? So having an online course is a great thing to do. If you're finding it hard to get work or whatever it might be after it all finishes, you could always think about doing something like that because I think it's a great idea. And you're also not working by the hour, are you? With an online course, you're working. You're not trading time for money. Like somebody can just automatically buy it and then go into your funnel and they buy your, like people can just be buying my course. I wake up in the morning and then I see how many people bought my course while I was asleep. So it's that kind of business that just works all the time, all around the clock, because I have students all around the world from 41 different countries that are coming in all the time automatically. So I think online courses are a great thing to do, but it depends what you've got to share. Everyone's got something special to share, and you can teach from where you're at. So it might be that what you know now you can teach from, and then later on you might change and do something else. So yeah.
Absolutely. Like once you shared that advertising was the most problem that you addressed, so like how you figured that out?
How do I figure which problem?
Advertising your course. Like once you shared it on Instagram stories, like advertising was the most difficult problem for you. So how you did that?
Okay, well, the most difficult problem I think for me when I did my course was doing was just the marketing in general, just like advertising, doing Facebook ads and stuff like that. And I think it's with anything, we just have to have tenacity, don't we? We have to just think you can literally figure anything out. That's what I know now from doing this business for these years. I know that I can figure anything out that I need to know, I can figure it out, and you can too. If you just have that mindset that whatever you have that big vision in your mind of what you want to do, and you can get there. Why can't it be you that does exactly why can't it be you that has that great visions for your life, that thing, that goal, that thing that you really want to do? It can be you. And you can take those steps to do it. You totally can, but you just have to, sometimes you have to figure it out. It's a lot of Googling sometimes, or you might need to take an online course to learn something. It's like I took one to learn how to do Facebook ads, and then but then when I learned what I learned in that course, I took on, but then I also had to find out my own way of doing things, because whatever you learn from people, you have to figure out your own way of doing things. So it's just a matter of, and there's so much free stuff that you can get on Google, you can find stuff out, but you may need to take a course to learn how to do it if you want to go into that kind of work, into that kind of area. But I just really want you to believe in yourself and just know that you can do absolutely anything that you set your mind to. You can figure everything out. It's like I thought when I first started my other business, I thought I can't do sales. I thought, I can't do sales. And I actually went into business with somebody else. I got them involved and thought, I can't do sales. I need a business partner. And I had a business, because I wasn't confident in myself enough to know I could do it. And luckily I got out of that partnership and carried. And of course I can do sales. I've figured out my way of doing sales now. And I know I can do anything in my business, and you can as well. It's just a matter of learning and going step by step, and you can figure everything out.
Exactly. Like this also brings me to a very important point. Like you'll learn so many skills in life, you'll do so many courses, but in the end, it's you who need to decide what is right for you and figure your own way out of it. So Yeah,
Exactly, which is why I was talking about intuition a lot. Even now, when you're deciding what your next steps are, like what am I going to do at the end of this year? I don't know where you are in the in your in your degrees and everything, but when you get to the end, what am I going to do? You know, and it's like try, but don't go and do things just for money. You know, it's really tempting, isn't it? So I'm going to get this job because I'm going to earn lots of money doing it. Try and do something that you're going to earn money doing and you're going to enjoy and it's going to fulfill your soul, like I was talking about. And there is that thing there. There's that thing that your soul's here to do, that you can find that. You can have that. You can, which is having it all, really, isn't it? I mean, that's the ultimate that we all want, isn't it? To be fulfilled and to earn money. So just be careful of just going for things just for the money, because you'll have money, but you won't be happy. You know, you want to be happy and have money.
exactly. Like also some people have planned but not confident enough to share it with others. So like, do you have any suggestions for them?
Yeah, if they're not confident, well, it's baby steps, isn't it? So what you could do if you're not feeling confident about it is, I mean, first of all, you've got to understand that people, like, it's like me, right? Why should I bother making an Instagram course when there's loads and loads of Instagram courses out there? Like, you know, why bother doing it? If I'd have thought that, I wouldn't have bothered to do it, would I? So you might be thinking, what's your special skill? What's your superpower? What's that thing that you do? What's the thing that people come to you for, or that you're really interested in? You know, is it spirituality? Is it self-development? Or is it just whatever it is, you know? And it's just knowing that you are going to teach that in a completely different way than anybody else does. It's like, I don't teach Instagram like anybody else teaches Instagram. I bring a more soulful part to it, you know. My take on it is different. It's all about love for me and just giving, and that's different, you know. So you will teach whatever topic you decide to get. If you want to go into a certain topic, you'll figure out, and people will come to you because of you. And you don't have to be anything else than what you are right now. You don't need to be anything extra, and you know, all you need to do is learn some skills that you need to know. But people will resonate with you. It's like me. I've attracted students to me that are in my vibe, you know, that just resonate with me, and you'll do the same. So you have to just have confidence, put yourself out there, just have a message, be clear about your message, clear about what you're doing, and then the right people will come to you. And that's the beauty of doing it like this. You're not trying to twist people into doing things. You're just shining out the fact that you're confident and that you're good. So if you're lacking in confidence, just take baby steps, and you might have a little course that you're doing, and you could do a beta tester version. That's what I recommend doing when you're starting to do a course, is to do a beta version. So you just create it, and while you're creating it, you have say 5 people that you sell it to for half price or less, like just like $50 or whatever. Get them into the course, and they can be going through it while you're creating it. So you could create the first module of it, and then you could get them to give you feedback on it, and then you'll learn a lot from that, and you'll be able to tweak it as you go, and that will give you confidence, because they'll be like, oh, I love this, oh, I'm learning something, and then you'll be like, yes, this is working. And so I think having beta testers in when you're creating a course is really, really essential, because then you're going to tweak it as you go and make it really good. And you know, there's lots and lots of things you can do when you're making a course. You can make it, you've got to, you know, make it fun, and make it, you know, just be having fun yourself, and just be yourself. Show your personality. Don't be afraid to show your personality in anything you do.
Absolutely. And one small question out of curiosity, like how success has changed your life?
Oh my goodness. Well, my life has changed completely. Like, oh God, it makes me want to cry, actually. It's quite emotional. It's just, yeah, like before, I always had this yearning, like when I was younger and I was working in the big corporations, I just felt that something wasn't right, because I was designing brands and I was designing things that were making big corporations money, and then maybe they're not necessarily the best things in the world, big corporations, you know, getting them richer. And I just didn't feel right about that. And then I went freelance, which was better. So I went freelance for a while. And then I started my own business, and then my savings were going down and down. And I was a single mom with 2 kids. And I was just, honestly, I just like go to the supermarket, and I have to go like, oh, have I got enough money to pay for the food? You know, it was terrible. And then now it's just, my life has completely changed. I did a course online, another course online, to learn how to make a really good course, and I met my husband there. So I met him, and so I've got married since then. I've bought my dream house. It's like life just couldn't be better. But the best thing about my day that I love so much is the fact that because I give so much to my students, like they can't, but they constantly say to me, I just did some updates, like I said, to the course, and they said, they said to me, we need to pay you for this. You can't just give us it for free. And I'm like, no, it's fine. But it's the fact that they love me, I love them and give them so much. And it's all the love that I get. It's like, I get these messages every day telling me that I've changed their life and, that their business is now going really well. And that's the most fulfilling thing for me, is that, financially, I've got this amazing, I don't need to worry anymore, and I've got my house and everything. And, but it's more that I feel I'm doing something good in my life now. I feel like I'm making a difference, which I get messages every day telling me I'm really helping them, and I'm making them feel more confident, because I'm all about helping them feel confident. They're like, it's like people who've never done video before, or they were afraid to take a selfie because they didn't feel confident. Well, I teach them how to take really great photos of themselves that they feel actually happy with, whoever they are, and take videos. It's like they're really self-conscious on video, and then all of a sudden, after doing my trainings, they can do it. And it's like, what a massive difference to know that I've impacted somebody like that they now can get their message out into the world in video or photos or whatever they need to do, because I've empowered them. So, to create a course that is impacting people like that, it's that is the most amazing thing, to do that every day. It's like, as I say, it's like money and love every day. So it couldn't be better.
Absolutely. Also, the thing by which I'm influenced by you the most is like your authenticity and the way you believe in growing together. Like, you relate your success with our success, and it's something really rare, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. It's like, if you ever do a course or anything, or even customers or anybody that you're dealing with in the workplace, when you're doing that, it's just, what I do is I try to I don't try to, I see everybody as amazing. It's like, I see everyone as amazing, and they are. Everybody is amazing, but it's like, if you can treat people, if you can go out into work, wherever you are, seeing everyone as, it sounds a bit mushy, but it's like, seeing everybody as amazing beings that they are. And then they become that, so your students, if you have an online course, you believe in them. I believe all of my students, when they come in, I'm like, you can do this. I totally believe they can. I believe they're absolutely amazing. And then suddenly they become amazing and believe in themselves, so I think it's like having that feeling about people. It's like not being condescending about people and thinking, I know stuff and they don't, it's not that. It's like, it's really loving everybody and feeling they're amazing beings, really. It sounds a bit mushy, but if you can go into your work life with attitude, it's only going to come back to you tenfold, and it's just people are going to really feel that. But it's not a marketing trick, like I'm just doing that just to be a marketing trick. It's like, I genuinely do believe that. So I'm glad you can feel that too.
Absolutely. So now we have a question from our viewer side. So Abhishek is asking, how did you go around with creating the market and letting the people know that there is something you're creating in the beginning stage?
Well, actually, in the beginning, I did it a little bit differently, because obviously before I did Facebook ads, first of all, I did it through Facebook groups, right? And I didn't do it for long, and it's not a very good strategy. It's quite annoying, really, because you just have to, there's so much messages you have to get, but it did help to get started, was in certain Facebook groups online that you can go into, and it's just been really helpful in there. And I was telling people, sometimes they have a thread where you can put what you're doing, and then I put, my before and afters that I was showing you before about student feeds. I put some before and afters in the group, and then people were like, oh, I want that, I want that, and then they DM'd me, and I got going that way. So I didn't have a complicated selling structure set up at the beginning. I just went and did it word of mouth at the beginning, and I only had a few students right at the start. And then it kind of just spread. And then I learned how to do Facebook ads. If you're going to do something like this, you're going to have to do Facebook ads. And lots of people say that you have to invest a lot of money to do Facebook ads, whereas I don't. I mean, you have to have a little bit of money to play with, but there's so many different parts of the world that you can advertise to. You've got the whole world at your fingertips now. There's no borders when it comes to things like that, online courses. Like, you could create something with your knowledge and sell it to all over the world, and so it's a really great opportunity. But start out with sorry, go on.
Apologies. Continue.
No, I was just going to say, you start out with your Facebook group, people you know, or and then gradually you can move on to your ads. But you just have a really small budget for it, and then you learn as you go. So I never really lost much money on my advertising. If it wasn't working, I would stop it and start to try some other things. So you don't have to have this massive budget to do your advertising at the beginning when you're selling a product. I didn't for mine. I had a small budget.
Okay. So we have 2 questions, then we'll be closing the session. Yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the best thing about your training programs that you love the most, and which makes it unique?
Well, I think it's because, I'm just trying to think what my students tell me is the best thing about it. I think one of the best things is that there is about $5,000 worth of value for $297. It's like I pack it in. So if you make a course, put loads and loads into it so that people think it's massive value. Well, it is massive value, and because that shows that you really care and you're invested in them, and they really love that, especially with the current situation, global situation. You've got to give a lot of value in what you're doing. And also I make my lessons really fun. It's like I have slides. I have like dance breaks halfway through, and I make it just really fun. It's not a boring, like lots of online training you do it, and it's like you're sort of falling asleep halfway through. And it's not like that. They say that they can't wait to get, and they're like sad. They cry when it's finished. They're like really sad when it's finished because they just really enjoyed going through it, because I put a lot of humor into it and I make it really fun and engaging. So yeah, you've got to make it engaging, and really don't be afraid to show your personality and connect with everybody. And I actually do a live Q&A as well once a week, which is great with my students, and so they feel connected to me as well that way. So yeah, there's a few things. There's lots of good things about it.
I also remember a story that was about check your message before sending it, and that then talk to you. That was like a fun learning thing we had. So yeah, that was really nice.
Say that again, darling. I missed that. I couldn't hear you very well.
Actually, I saw one. Yeah. Is it fine now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I saw one story that was about check your message before you send it, because it then talks to you. So that was like fun.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. No, I did a funny Instagram story. It's like some people are very reserved on this. They think they can only post things that are just very, corporate and very, but I just like to show my personality a bit. So I had an Instagram story that was about, it showed an autocorrect thing, because when I'm doing, because I'm so busy, I've got so many students to answer questions for, and I give a lot of personal attention to my students. I use voice recognition, like on my Mac. I have this thing that just, if I speak, it just types it out, and it just makes things a lot quicker. And I was doing that one day, and I said, and it was meant to be something like, so show me your brand, and it said something like, show me your ass. And it was like, and luckily I didn't press send, thank God, but it was just really, like, oh my God. And I put it as an Instagram story. I said, oh my God, thank goodness I didn't check my autocorrect or something. And yeah, so it's nice to put some funny humor into it as well. It was bad. Excuse my French.
Exactly. So now our last question for today, as an influencer or as a student, it's important to stay consistent in your work and to stay motivated. So you are a source of motivation for us, but what is that source for you?
Well, my motivation is that my end goal. It's like I'm always thinking. It's like I'm not one of these people that has a big plan of the whole, some people, they plan like they have a 5-year plan. I'm going to do this and that and this and that. I like to have one plan, one clear plan, one goal that I'm working towards. It's like I set myself a goal of something like, for example, when I first started, I was like, I am going to get to, I don't know, $3,000 in sales a month or something. It's like I had this plan, this goal, what I wanted to do. So I'll have like a goal, and now I've got a different goal, and I'll have one goal that I'm trying to get to. So just think to yourself, what is a goal that's a little bit out of my comfort zone? It's a little bit out of my reach, but what can that goal be? And I just have that in my forefront of my mind all the time. And I even sometimes will write out my goal and have it right in front of me on right by my computer. And I'll just be, if anything, because you have to say no to things so that you've got enough time to go towards your goal. You've got to be just really, just focused. I'm really focused, and if it's not, if something comes in and somebody asks me to do something and it's not going towards my goal, the answer is no. You know, because you can get pulled in so many different directions. It's like I'm constantly thinking, oh, shall I do a course on this or that or the other, because I've got so many ideas, and then but I have to think, no, I'm just doing this. And that's another really important thing to remember, is to focus on the one thing. Like, because I could have done a course about loads of things, organization, you know, you name it, I could have done a course on it, but I have just focused on one thing for 3 years, and then I've got known for that. So don't try and do a million different things, because you'll be scattered. If you can just focus on one thing that you really want to do, and if you have that goal, what I used to do was, before, when I was single mum, I would get up every morning and I would sit there and I would meditate. I would think about, my goal was to have a successful business and be an entrepreneur and to help people, you know. And so I would just think that was my main goal. I just know I want that. So I'd sit in the morning, every morning, I'd think about that goal, and I would meditate on that goal, and I would almost think about it so much that I felt like I was that person already who has that life, you know. And I would do that every morning. I would meditate about that life I really wanted and have that goal, and then that feeling, even though I wasn't thinking about it the rest of the day, I would carry that feeling with me into the rest of my day, every day. And it just magically all started. And that's when the universe all starts to arrange everything for you. So if you can just do that, that is a massive thing that I did that really, really worked, is have a vision, think really clearly, what you want your life to be like, you know, and then just meditate on it every morning. Keep doing it and believing it. You've got to believe in yourself, right? Why can't it be you? Why can't it be you that gets to have that life that you really want? It totally can, but you've got to believe it. If you don't believe that you can have that life, then it's not going to happen, because you've got to believe it first. You've got to believe it really deep down to your core. When you believe in yourself and you believe you can have that life, and then when you start to meditate on that every morning, things will start to happen in your life that will move you towards that vision that you have, and it will just happen automatically. Things will just happen and come into your life. And so that's my motivation, is to just think what I want and be really clear about it, and just have that feeling and carry that into my day every day. And then seriously, it starts to manifest and it all starts to happen. But you've got to believe you can do it, because you can. If I can, you can.
Absolutely, I completely agree. And by this, we come to end of the session, and it was really amazing and informative session. Thank you so much for joining us. I know how busy you are. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. And
Pleasure.
also, I would like to thank Mr. Des, because my initial conversation regarding education happened with him. So
Yeah,
it was really
Mr.
nice
Des.
talking to you, sir. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
I
that.
will pass it on to Mr. Des. Thank you, my hubby.
Would you like to say something?
Well, thanks very much, guys. It's been lovely to chat to you all today. And I wish you all the best in whatever you decide to do. Just keep listening to that intuition and try and find what your soul's here to do. You can have it all. You can do something where you earn money and you really enjoy it, and it's your soul feels fulfilled. So that's my wish for you, and I know you can do it. So it's been lovely to chat with you today.
Thank you.
Bye.